we had to deal with a certain situation that had come up apparently at a club where you had followed a lead on perhaps someone that might be buying merman parts. There were a few veteran cops found to be among the diners who were enjoying select cuts of mermaids and mermen, including select cuts of yourself, Icepeak.
Yum.
With the bait that you had used in your sting operation, you were able to net quite the get, technically, or at least in some case. It may not be involved with the case that you're currently investigating, but maybe it is. A missing liver is always suspicious. Unfortunately, the high-speed chase that followed and the resulting explosion of a car full of old, highly decorated cops in a construction site. By the way, the explosion being one that was caused by a bundle of poles that went through the roof of a car that had been flipped over after eels had attacked the drivers. That explosion pretty much roasted everybody inside. Ironically, Icepeak, they've been skewered and roasted like they probably wanted to do to you. Yum, yum.
The irony.
Yes, the absolute irony of it. Unfortunately, not every single cop in that car was human. As we left off on the note of one of them busting out as a mass of tentacles, teeth, pincers, and of course, the all too familiar and dreaded phrase, Hail Avicii Dagon, an eldritch abomination, probably not the first you've ever seen in life, probably won't be the last, has emerged from the twisted metal and fire, the smell of burning paint kind of acting as its cologne as it makes its way onto the scene. This unfamiliar merman, this deep sea abyssal threat, has begun to emerge as if from a cocoon of death. You, Blue and Icepeak, are both, yes, Twilight depth. So, fun fact for both of you. As Twilight depth mermen, merfolk, mermaids, you are the front line in a lot of ways of dealing with the abyssal. That life that which comes from below you and seems awfully hostile for no reason. Twilight depth mer people, they deal with constant thoughts of destruction, but also a yearning for a greater life, something with promise and love. It's always that sort of dual nature that will stick with them. But when the abyssals rise, it seems they're nothing but hungry, chattering maws and masses of terrible limbs and points. These things full of venom and hatred. And you're usually, as Twilight Depth, the one that runs into them first. You're the line. They have to cross you. And right now, there is one that wants to cross the line. This thing before you. This thing called, as it names itself, in a roaring cadence, which I will certainly not do the volume of. My name is Henker. I serve Avicii Dagon. And it stops, and you notice several eyes on its massive body starting to open and peer around. Two of you. Then it clears its throat. I can just go back to talking the way that I like to talk. How are y'all doing today? I noticed that you blew up this whole car full of my friends. It kind of like starts to lean and lurch out. That wasn't very nice at all. Oops, I'm falling. So Blue and Icepeak, this thing has dropped its weird monstrous voice and just started talking like, sounds like a normal person.
How many of the mouths are talking?
Oh, just one. The other ones are just kind of like gnashing and like tongues are emerging and licking the teeth.
Yes, an unfortunate accident you seem to have had.
Oh, that's fine. Bygones can be bygones. Is there anything that you need from me, or should I just be on my way? It starts to slurp out onto the ground, like finally reaching it. Parts of it are currently on fire.
I just close the door with Poppy in the car and say, "No, you couldn't be on your way."
Oh, wonderful. Oh, it stops. And then all the eyes turn to focus on what you just closed the door on. Was that? Oh, that's Poppy. That's Poppy. I want to get her autograph.
I don't think you have paper or the hands to do so.
It kind of sneers with quite a few of its mouths, and the teeth start to click together. And then you notice the tentacles kind of worm their way through the car and pull out several hands that are detached from the driver and the other passengers. And then as well as like one of them just has a bundled up, just massive paper in one of its tentacles.
Is it on fire?
Yeah, of course it is. Why not?
I do not think that will last you.
Yeah, that's too bad. Well, I was thinking about leaving. I was thinking about just going my own way. And you know what? I remembered that my friend told me something about the ancient Eskimos that kind of made a community for themselves in a little place that I've heard called Utah. It just starts to slap around. It's like limbs begin to writhe and spiral. You see, these Eskimos thought that they could go to Utah to get away from the cold weather. And they heard that there were these things called the salt flats. And those salt flats, as it turns out, were pretty darn nice compared to the tundras and the icy expanses that the Eskimos have been in. Which, by the way, most Eskimos, or at least those that are identified as such, aren't truly Eskimos. It begins to just writhe around and turn upside down. It's just a name that people give to different tribes that exist in the area, but we just should probably call them indigenous people. And then it starts to smear its body against the ground, stretching it out. Well, in any event, those Eskimos who made that community ended up being pretty happy there for a while, till the local Mormons found out about it. Started raising their taxes and saying all sorts of rude things about them, to the point where they had to move to neighboring Nevada. And then he just like begins to violently slap his tentacles against the pavement, including against the hood of the car, causing it to tilt over and begin to spill fuel kind of on the ground, which is creating a fiery trail. I guess the thing that I'm getting at here is that no matter where you go, there's always going to be people who just want to cause trouble. And then it begins to wrap a tentacle around that car. And you guys seem like you just want to make trouble for me. So I have to do something. My name is Henker. I am from the teeth of Avicii. From the abyssal depths I have risen. Oh, the car, no, the burning car. Yeah, he's just wrapping a tentacle around it.
Okay.
And I think that I have to eat you before I can finally understand what it's like to be an Eskimo in Utah on the salt flats. And all of the teeth begin to chatter very quickly, rapidly. Um, this thing seems like it may not be stable or sane. And for the record, the story he said, for anyone who's a historian, completely fabricated.
Okay. I believe you've already accomplished that task.
It kind of begins to, the mouths begin to snicker and chortle and giggle. Although you notice, Icepeak, give me a gaze roll.
Oh.
Its eyes are focused on something, but you're not sure what. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Did either of you, I guess, like call or radio the rest of us to let us know that this was going on?
I would probably Icepeak would at this point, but we hadn't yet said it, so
Okay. Real
Technically
quick,
now.
since you weren't here, I was saying that for fights like this, I'm gonna try to keep them to just like 1 or 2 people, so they don't turn into like big old melees.
Okay. No
But
problem.
you as players still can participate by suggesting scene ideas and like additions. If they are advantageous for both sides or could be used by both sides, no fate point cost. If it's just advantageous for Blue and Icepeak, cost a fate point. If it's really ridiculous, it may cost more than 1. And if it's something that makes the situation more complicated for Blue and Icepeak, they both get a fate point back. But it may be make a thing more difficult for them to do. So that's kind of... So for example, I would say, Towner, how on fire is the car? Is it completely engulfed in flame at this point, or is it just half burning?
Yeah, it's just like a fireball.
Okay, fireball.
I'm gonna say Blue will have sent like a quick message about what's going on. Yeah.
I could always shed a few lampreys in the car to do that too.
So yeah, that's one of your aspects. Ford Tough Fireball. The vehicle that Henker is grasping, it's burning some of the tentacles that are wrapped around it, charring them. But it can use it as a weapon against you unless you quickly act. It's starting to lift the car up off of the poles, though. Presumably to either hammer into you or just simply throw at you like a projectile. I will give Icepeak you the first action because I'm going to say you're probably in front. You and Blue are probably both like there, but you were having a conversation with him. What would you like to do?
He's giant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on fire? Oh, jeez.
Giant and on fire and has a bunch of mouths.
Is there like a telephone or anything nearby, a pole like nearby, or I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. I guess there's construction?
Yeah, it's a construction, so I'd say there's probably some kind of, like an electrical one?
I'm not specifically looking for just something to climb.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll Icepeak will start to run toward like a maybe like an iron beam, like a half-built building that's just like iron beam so far, and like just all the bones in her body like are gone, so she's just like a snake wrapping herself around and climbing up it.
Okay, give me a scissor roll. So you see, as you're trying to like reach out to go slither around this pole, you see one of those tentacles, those with the pincer at the end, kind of grasp at where you once were, but it just scrapes against the metal just an inch away from you. This thing is not just big, it's pretty fast too. Not fast enough to catch you though. Blue, you have kind of your action next. What would you like to do? This thing has several eyes, I'll say.
Yeah, I was thinking of using blind.
Okay, so you're going to emit like a big piercing light to try and just blind this guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. It's going to spend a fate point invoking its depth. As you notice, its eyes, like a second pair of like translucent lids slide over them. Apparently, it's used to having to deal with like bright, sudden lights. It's trying to filter out kind of your flash. So if you don't spend a fate point, it's going to be your blind is going to have like mixed results, basically.
I think I will use a fate point.
Okay, what do you invoke? Off the character sheet.
Need? Or my need maintain control of the situation?
Okay. So because Blue needs to know that her blind is working, you increase the intensity of like the flash that you cause, I guess. Out of curiosity, how does the flash occur? What is it? Where does it come from out of your body? Like, is there like a special organ that pops out of like a part of you, or how does it work?
No, I have like, how do I describe them? Like, I have like a design kind of on my skin that shows up and the light emits out from that. Yeah.
All right.
And my hair also streaks neon blue when I use that.
Fancy. Okay, so this guy is blinded. It's going to blindly swing the flaming vehicle that it has, just around in a big sweeping motion at the trying to aim at the pole Icepeak was climbing, because it can't quite see it, but it sort of knew where its tentacle was. It completely, I mean, it smacks into it, but it's not enough to like push it over. It is enough to begin to pull itself forward, though. The flaming vehicle on the end of its tentacles, that the one that it was swinging, just kind of crashes into some more construction materials and sends them exploding into all directions. Twisted metal, wiring, all sorts of different materials are just kind of cascading out from all the surrounding environment where it made impact. But both of you are currently safe. And if any kind of like debris or shrapnel hits your skin or your body, it's enough to just like pass through, maybe do a cut, and the cut heals very quickly. In other words, you're just not even fucking bothered. Icepeak, it's currently your turn. Actually, before you begin, Enya, is it rainy, or is there anything in the weather right now that would have any effect on this scene? That could happen now, or like any kind of weather phenomena?
Actually, could I pay a fate point to suggest that there was some planned demolition, but the rain like set it back? But there's like some munitions around, like here or there, that got left. That
I'm gonna say no. You don't have to pay a fate point for that,
alrighty.
because that is dangerous for both of them.
Yeah, true.
Okay, Icepeak, it's your turn. What would you like to do here?
Oh, well, should I play with the explosives, or should I was gonna like start pulling like a medical kit out of my insides.
Oh, to do what?
Pull out some sedatives.
Ooh, okay. As a medical person who is, you don't have enough sedatives in your supply closet for a big boy like this.
He's just too big, yeah.
He's not only big, he's a merman. You'd need a lot. You need a lot for just even a walking around merman. Sometimes this guy, yeah, he probably eat a couple horse tranquilizers and a couple tranquilized horses.
Okay, so explosives it is.
Yeah, you have explosives, you have concrete. If you want that, you'll have to pay a fate point to make that a scene aspect, but that's absolutely possible. Or one of your friends could. You have those options as well.
They've already given me the explosives. We might as well play with them.
I mean, you could combine all of those things.
Combine all these things. Okay, I'll pay. Well, it's raining right now, right?
Is it? Yeah, sure. We'll say it's raining lightly.
Okay, so if I were just to like take a big bag of cement, plop an explosive on it, and like throw it, it might harden once everything settles in the rain.
That would take a long time.
Yeah, it does take a long time.
Yeah. I'll say, here's my recommendation. You could use a fate point to say there's a cement mixer nearby.
Yeah.
And here's what I recommend. Just burying them in wet cement, filling that fucking cement tomb with explosives, and yeah,
kick
probably
the whole
doing
thing off.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Icepeak will begin making that contraption.
Okay, so spend one fate point for your cement mixer.
Okay. Did it?
There is something of note, by the way. When you see Blue's light, there is a sort of a feeling that you have, like, kind of, I would say, intrinsically in your being, that you can capitalize on that in a way that perhaps other people could not. Something about that blinding flash and your lampreys mixes.
Interesting. Okay.
But right now, currently, you are planning to make that contraption, as you said, of cement and explosives. Is that what you're doing? You're making a how are you setting this up?
Well, it's just like a turning cement mixer, right? So there's already cement in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I'll just throw some of those explosives in there and set one to go off and just kick it into Henker, kick it off the edge.
The cement mixer?
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing? You're gonna need a tremendous amount of strength to do that.
Oh, I'm not Towner.
Yeah, you need like maybe Towner level strength. Yeah, Dio level strength.
I guess there's just like a lever to tilt it over, right, and pour the stuff out.
Sure. That's going to take a few actions to do, but it is currently blinded. So go ahead and give me a an experiment roll. This is all very experimental for you, I'm going to say.
Yeah, she don't know what she's doing.
You're going to need to spend a fate point to pass the passive difficulty to get yourself, like, you can do that, but like it'll be complicated basically unless you spend a fate point. Complications are fine.
I will take the complication. I only have one fate point left.
Okay. The complication is you notice that this thing, Henker, it has how do I say this? Your individual lampreys and even you as a higher order thinker knows that this thing smells delicious. Henker smells extremely tasty, enough to lure some of your lampreys towards it without you even realizing it.
Oh, stop smelling so good.
He smells like the tastiest meatloaf you've ever seen, complete with diced onions and ketchup and garlic. Yum yum.
Some of my lampreys will squiddle away to go try to attach to a stronger beast.
Okay. Blue, you have this thing still blinded, but it's about to lose that condition the moment someone capitalizes on that. What would you like to do?
Okay. What is it exactly? What's it doing right now? Can you remind me?
Oh, it's it tried to swing at the pole with its flaming car that it has in hand, and it got kind of missed because it's still blinded. So it's just it's blopped out onto the ground, just kind of just swirling massive mouths and tentacles and pincers.
Okay. I was thinking of maybe using Impale, but I don't know.
Okay. Same. Well, here's the same thing for you. When you use Flash, you notice that the light resonated with Icepeak.
Mm-hmm.
So you could use Impale and capitalize on it, but there's something Icepeak can do as well.
Okay. Let's see what.
You could continue to blind it.
Okay. I guess, yeah, I'll do it. I'll redo that.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a blind roll, and you can get a +2 to it because you already have blinded, so 4. It is not only blinded, it's incredibly blinded now. As it, sees you moving and is trying to focus on attacking Icepeak, it stares at you a little too hard and becomes incredibly blinded. Now it's at a plus. That means the next bonus somebody gets off of you, pulls off of that, would be a +3 basically because you succeeded with style. So you have a +3 to the next roll that anyone uses to capitalize, including on defense. As Henker finally starts to just smash all its tentacles down on you, and specifically, it's trying to smash down its tentacles that are ringed with these long fanged mouths. It's trying to smash you to pieces, Blue.
Uh-oh.
And it's going to use its fate point. It's going to invoke... I'm going to say it's going to invoke its drive, which is to reveal nature, because it wants to show that you're not someone that's a team player. It senses in you that you're more of an individualist, so it's going to reroll. It'll get higher. a 3. That's his fate point. It's also going to accept its compel. Seeing that these lampreys are moving towards it to eat it, it's going to emit a sort of some kind of pheromone or just cloud that increases its appetizing nature. This causes the eels to kind of, if any are around it, to just begin to dine on its flesh. Not giving you the compulsion yet, but definitely, Icepeak, you can feel it. This thing wants to be eaten. That is going to make its roll against you, Blue, a 5. So go ahead and give me, let's see, hard-boiled. Give me a hard-boiled roll in defense. Oof. So, like, you're tough enough where you can take the hit and get knocked back, maybe, but you don't even begin to go off balance, so you just take 1 physical stress.
Okay.
Icepeak. Actually, Mikey, our good friend Mikey. A guy walks by chewing on a sandwich. What does he do when he sees this fight happening at the construction site between an Eldritch Abomination and apparently just 2 mutant women? One of them's got no bones, the other one's bright and shiny.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same. Probably fucking runs and books it. I don't think normal people want to deal with merman shit if they don't have to. And seeing this is definitely merman shit or worse, which I assume a normal person would want to stay fucking clear of.
Okay, you're gonna have to hold on a sec. He doesn't book it because he stops booking it when he sees a piece of Henker on the ground and begins to walk over, pick it up, and bring it slowly closer to his mouth while one of Henker's tentacles are also sliding towards this random civilian. So now, this is your, I guess, engagement here. Do you want to let this guy get eaten? Do you want to save him? Or do you want to complicate this for Henker? How do you how do your fate points save this man or condemn him to die?
I mean, I don't really want this random guy to just die hard. I'm trying to think of how he could possibly be saved in time to not eat the flesh meat of this thing.
Well, I mean, for a fate point, he could realize that the tentacle's coming towards him, throw the meat, and run. He could probably just get dragged, or who knows?
Yeah, I'll say probably the first one makes the most sense. Seeing this thing come after him now, terrified, probably, throws the sandwich as he has nothing else to throw, and then just starts booking it.
Okay.
So I'll pay that fate point to get him out of there.
For a fate point,
is the fate point for sandwich to distract the monster with sandwich?
No. The fate point is because Henker is kind of trying to manage multiple things, and he kind of overstretches himself trying to chase after this guy that's fleeing out of the construction site, while he's still engaged with the both of you. Meaning he is now kind of he's overextended. Consider that to be a +2 on your next roll. Icepeak, it is your turn. So you have the cement mixer pulled up to him. You have explosives at the site. You have 1 fate point.
All right, let's do this. Let's pour this thing down on him.
Before you do, you feel a strong compulsion within you based off of your need. You need to feed off of the living.
Okay.
This thing is a Leviathan that completely could regenerate or at least take the damage. This is, as far as you can tell, the closest thing to a perfect host you've ever seen biologically.
It is beautiful. Yeah.
It's killing it might be a big mistake. In fact, just as you're about to dump the cement mixer on him, one of the eyes looks towards you and is suddenly Disneyfied and has a tear running down it.
Oh no! I know you are beautiful, but you must die.
The eye closes. Henker understands. You pay 1 fate point to resist the compulsion to continue to eat Henker. You want to dump the concrete on him. Is that it?
Sorry, yes, I'd like to dump concrete on him.
Okay. You dump concrete on him. And as the concrete starts to flow over him, you realize that combination, that thing that you felt earlier, that resonance is even stronger now because of that light that was like extremely bright. Your lampreys, under these conditions, with that light effect, with prey that's like held still or blinded, have the ability to quickly, almost like needles or bullets, dart through a subject, and with your anatomical knowledge as a brain, completely sever several important organs all at once. This is a group, or what we used to call a family stunt. Yes, in this case, it's we'll call it a squad stunt. You have a squad stunt with Blue. You can use your lampreys to sever important nerves, arteries, organs. When the flash happens and the subject is hit by them, with your unique gifts and the combination of who you both are as kind of merfolk, you actually see like a detailed X-ray of their entire anatomy, like their bones, their circulatory system. You can see everything within them just for a second, enough for you to register where you need to strike quickly and efficiently.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So that means if you make the way that we'll probably word that is if you make a slither roll on your next turn, after an impale, like once per scene, we'll say, you can do double the shifts on your attack.
So I make a slither roll after a blind roll?
Yeah, and she's already done the blind roll. So if you make a slither roll right now, you would have a +5 to it.
It gives me, I'm sorry, a slither roll after a blind roll gives me a plus what? Sorry, I'm writing it down.
Doubles your shifts of damage done. I mean, we could also change that instead of slither, multi-surgery. But yeah, we'll actually make it multi-surgery makes the most sense. So it'll be multi-surgery.
Okay, so I should roll one right now?
Yes, now that this thing is trapped in concrete. Oof. Well, it's still a 5. We'll see what it rolls.
Didn't I have something to invoke the guy running away?
Oh, that's your 5 because it's 2 from that.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus. Well, it doesn't matter. He takes. Let me actually.
I drained him of too much blood.
All the blood and some concrete.
Ooh. Can I target his stomach?
You can if you want. Yeah, it's a substantial system of different stomachs that are all just kind of like pitted and aligned, connected. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna let one of your friends spend a fate point. Which one of you wants to spend a fate point to give Icepeak Divine Inspiration?
I will.
Okay. Go ahead and spend 1 fate point, and then Icepeak, you can reroll multi-surgery. It's 7.
One better.
It's 1 better. I mean, that's worth it. So as you're like doing the work of like starting to put your lampreys through this thing to sever its organs so that you can like silence it for good, you can feel kind of the distant call of what sounds like metal, chaos, clashing, and like rallying roars, like almost like they're cheering for you. Like there's like the men on the field see what you're doing and are like their morale is boosting. Like you can even feel the flap of the banners just right next to you, right behind you, as you charge forth with your lampreys and like make these surgical strikes on this thing, causing 14 shifts of stress. And how much the concrete is poured over it. So at this point, what you guys see is the mouths like snapping and trying to bite through the concrete, and eventually they're unable to kind of fully open. They're just starting to gum. This thing seems actually very afraid right now. It seems like it's on the verge of death. Something about this situation has like caused it to go from like weirdly confident and monstrous to now like worried, very worried that it's about to die. I will say, Blue, it is your turn. Blue, you have fate points left, correct? You have 2 left.
I think I have 2, yeah.
With your strength as a mer person, if you spent your 2 fate points and used a certain roll, you could probably pushing a cement mixer over isn't that easy, but you could either tumble that flaming car into Henker here, or you can use the explosives. Either one. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll use the explosives.
Okay, it's going to be tricky trying to get it near this writhing mass of tentacles and concrete and fear and hunger. This thing is going to probably try to fight back, but go ahead. How do you want to get the explosives into it? You want to just chuck them? Do you want to slam dunk them, like just hand first into one of its mouths? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna slam dunk into one of its mouths.
Okay, go ahead and give me a Give me a impale roll. Oof. Very nice. 5.
Nice.
4. Okay. Well, I'll say that you are able to put the explosives into its mouth, but it quickly slaps you away with one of its tentacles and also pinches at one of your legs to like hold you there, like sort of keep a grasp on you. It's writhing currently in a great amount of pain as its body has been like completely perforated by lampreys, but it's still trying to put up a fight. It is going to try to break through the concrete. Let's see if it can. Oh, actually, it can entirely. As a Leviathan, you automatically overcome physical obstacles, including being buried in concrete. So it like as the concrete is starting to dry on it, it just breaks right through and just kind of lurches out, coming for you, Icepeak. Well, some of you.
The main hunk of me.
The main hunk of you. Go ahead and give me a give me a gaze roll for this. So there would be a little too easy. No, you know what? Yeah, do Slither. It's well, we'll see.
Oh.
Oh no.
Well, if it's Slither, then it would be the -1, I believe. So we'll see. No, negative. It'd be a 0. So,
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Take. Oof. I just noticed you have like a bunch of conditions on you. Shit.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do have a question. Poppy is already
yeah.
Thorantic. Does that mean that gets removed?
No, it just means it's there. It just means it can't
Okay.
be invoked again for free.
Okay.
However, this thing is going to invoke you're butchered to give it a +2.
Me.
Yeah, he stays with you, and now it's mutual. It's a mutual consumption situation. So that's going to make it his roll a 6 and yours a 0, and that means you take 1 fire. Yeah, you oof. Yeah, you're Icepeak. You are taken out. You have no more consequences to absorb right now. That doesn't mean that you die. It just means that he's like smashed your body to bits.
I can't reconstitute. There's just too many of me everywhere.
Right.
As the Scarecrow says, there's a little bit of me over there and a little bit of me over there.
Blue, this thing is starting to... So it's like smashed Icepeak's main body to pieces after emerging from the concrete. And is now like has its eyes turned towards you as you see it pick up one of the eels and begin to dangle it over its own mouth like a noodle. Just slowly lower one of the eels in while it stares at you with its many, many eyes.
Oh no. What if... Could I... With the Jaws of Dagon, like, if I invoked that, could I help heal her?
No, that only
No.
works for you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But you can compel an enemy automatically in addition to your action.
Okay.
This thing has a hunger that it wants to incite hunger in others. So what I would suggest is you try to draw it in by saying that you're hungry or something, compelling it. And then once it's close enough, try to blind it again and go for your ante up.
All right. I will try to compel it.
Oh, actually, compel, but roll gamble instead of blind. But go ahead.
I need to roll gamble.
Yeah, roll. Give me a gamble roll. -1. So once you can, how do you note that it looks tasty enough to eat? How do you note that Henker looks delicious? He is fairly well cooked at this point from all the fire. A little bit of cement on him.
I'm gonna lick my lips and say, you look so delicious and I'm starving. Can you come a little closer?
All of his eyes kind of move over towards you, and he does like immediately slop and slither over. You can feel his tentacles have already kind of like gotten around behind you and around you and are surrounding you at this point. This is a very dangerous gamble for you, meaning that both of you are going to get a +2 to your next roll. But since he was compelled, I'm going to let you go. Well, actually, he's going to go first. It is his turn, so. He kind of pauses for a moment, seeing like his eyes kind of scan you, and he realizes that maybe this is a trick, and you can see that he hesitates for a moment. His tentacles are still there. What would you like to do right now? He's currently hesitant about moving too close.
I could do hard boiled maybe.
You
kind
could
of demand or something.
like a Karen at a diner.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a hard boiled roll.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, how do you demand that your seafood be recooked exactly? Or how do you make it known that you wish to be served immediately?
Good. I'll say, I said I'm starving. Now get over here now.
Henker begins to chatter its teeth excitedly and then rush in blindly, eliminating his advantage that he might have had and giving you a +3 to your next roll. Which you can save as a boost if you want. But you could now, if you want to blind him and then do ante up, you could use that boost to basically finish him, I would say, probably.
All right. So blind right now?
Yeah, give me a blind roll.
Oh, no. Oh.
Okay. Well, let's see what he rolls. He's going to Fate Point. He's going to spend his Fate Point of... and invoke his... his Officer Shore disguise, actually, because you can see like a head that emerges, like when you try to blind him, a human head emerges from the middle of the mask that kind of is like wearing sunglasses, as Officer Shore did when he was in that disguise. So he's got like extra protection. You have a fate point. You have 2 fate points left if you want to use them. Though, if you just use 1, you'll be able to invoke over him.
Okay.
I would say. Oh, good.
Oh no! What would you say?
Just invoke your motto.
Okay, I will.
All right. So at the right moment you strike, it's the thing that resonates within your head that Avicii left with you. Meaning that you wait just for the right moment for the head to emerge, we'll say, and then you increase the intensity so that like it catches that pair of eyes too, blinding him. He's going to try to attack with a 3. Go ahead and give me a hard-boiled roll. 2. So he does 1 physical stress on you.
Do I
Just
add
one.
that in my sheet anyway when I have physical?
Yeah. You see those little underbody, those 1 body stress, we'll call it. So you've taken 1 and then 2. So you're fine. You've just taken the 2. But it is currently in range to be impaled. You have a +3 to your impale roll on top of Annie Up's bonus. So how does blue impale people?
So huge fangs kind of come out of her mouth, and she does it that way with her teeth, with her fangs.
Okay. So go ahead and give me an impale roll. So that's a 4 and then a 3 on top of that. That means that you have do you have any fate points left? Yeah, you do. You might want to blow them in a sec. You might want to blow it in a second. We'll see.
Okay. Oh no.
You do. So you get a 4 and then a 3, so you have a 7. You have a thing that does 1 extra shift. So 4. What's this boy working with? Yeah, he can absorb that unless you spend a fate point.
Oh man, I guess I better.
You can either spend a fate point to re-roll, or you can use the +2 your roll.
I'll do +2, and
Okay. So turning your 7 into a 9 means you do 6 shifts. You put a consequence on him. What do you want to do to his body to cause like a serious injury or that? Oh, you know what? Actually, because Icepeak has been taken out, I will say that you have the ability to. So when someone has a consequence on them, you don't have to do it now. When they have a consequence on them, you can invoke it for a +2. You can do it once, and it's usually caused by the person who caused the consequence. So because Icepeak could have invoked like his eviscerated consequence that he currently has, if she's the one who laid it on him.
okay.
You can. I'm gonna just let you do that because Icepeak would probably want you to. We'll even say Icepeak, you're still like alive, but like barely.
Yeah.
Or not barely, but you're really fucked up. So you could like, what's a word of encouragement based off the injuries you've laid off on Henker? Like, in that Joe Bro moment, where you're like, strike here, that sort of shit. What would Icepeak say?
Like a lamprey slithers out of like Blue's clothes and whispers into her ear, like, what is Henker looking like right now? Like, what's...
Oh, he's like on fire, covered in concrete, still chunks. Big chunks of him have been taken out. He's got holes all through his body where the eels kind of eviscerated him.
How many mouths does he have left?
Oh, you know what? We'll just say like 1.
Yeah, she would be like, shut his mouth for good.
Like the rest of them have been like kind of like either still have concrete in them. They've been burned shut, like seared shut, cauterized. So there's still 1 gibbering. Yeah, she's saying that's the weak point, just the mouth.
Shut his mouth. Okay.
Yeah, so impale him right through the fucking mouth and slam it shut, I guess.
Yeah, I want to impale him through like both the upper and lower lip, like
Sick.
have the fang go through both. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like yeah. So you kiss Henker. You kiss Henker's mouth shut. Henker, as you're doing that, you can hear him scream, every mouth that is covered or burnt tries to scream at the same time. None of them are able. Henker flops around, begins to flail what arms it has left, smacks you a few times, but can't make you let go because you are a viper fish. You are like here to kill. And as you are biting into him, really is delicious.
No.
His body begins to go limp once all those teeth are closed. And you can see like kind of a weird green liquid begin to pour out of him as his bones begin to break down under his own digestive system, and his body begins to metabolize itself, attempting to keep him alive. All of the different mutations and little deep sea modifications that have been made to his form so that he could fight on land and invade the land of humanity. All of them are currently working against him as his body just loses control. And all these different varying aspects begin to turn on one another. The pincers begin to cut off the tentacles that they're attached to. The mouths that used to be able to like move and open are currently like you can hear the teeth shattering as they bite down too hard. And the eyes are just all kind of rolling, staring, cross-eyed. Some of them have begun to cry tears of blood. It doesn't matter. The body is just beginning to finally reject the idea, the principle of life, as if it had been transplanted into its form, and then finally the patient cannot cope with it. Life leaves Henker. The kind of twitching body mass that is left is little more than a fish on the land, flopping and gasping. Henker has been killed. Rest in peace, sweet prince. You did it.
We did it.
Icepeak is currently badly fucking injured. There are still probably little bits and pieces of her scattered about, flopping in a similar manner. But you, Blue, have survived this situation. And not only that, you have discovered that there is a certain synergy between you and Icepeak. When you use your methods of survival and kind of surgical precision all in one, you both gain like a greater strength than you had alone. There is a problem, though, that your combined martial prowess and surgical expertise cannot solve. After you have killed the Henker, and you are currently face to face with it, you hear a very quiet munching sound off to the side.
I look over there from Blue's collar.
Yeah, Poppy is currently hunched over and is just scooping up pieces of Henker and eating them.
No.
Go ahead.
I would tell her to stop if I were you.
Yeah, Blue's gonna rush over and kind of like say, Poppy, I wouldn't eat that if I were you, and try to like take it out of her hands.
You'll have to roll against a 3 to get the food away from Poppy. Whatever roll you want.
Let's see.
Just blind her so she can't.
Okay, I'll just do that. I
No,
guess.
you could just slap it out of her hands.
You can do whatever roll you want. You can slap it out of her. You can slap her.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap it out of her hands. I guess what would I use for that?
Yeah, hard boiled is fine.
Okay.
Or shake down. Okay. Fail either way. Like Poppy, like a wild dog, kind of like fights you for it when you try to slap it out of her hands. She'll keep chewing for a moment. Yeah, like a wild dog. Do you even hear her make it go? She stops chewing and then drops the piece of meat and then says, "Uh-oh, I'm a cannibal. Help!"
Poppy, let's get back in the car. Let's get out of here.
She stares at you with hungry eyes.
Mm.
All she wanted was that delicious Henker meat, those Henker steaks, some Henker chunks, maybe a nice Henker loaf.
Let's go get some ice cream, Poppy. Don't you like ice cream?
She does. She immediately forgets her troubles and agrees to get ice cream with you. There's still blood on her face, though, the weird violet green blood from Henker. But she seems to not really notice. Still, the lingering taste of Henker will remain with her. She is cursed with a hunger for Henker, a hankering for Henker.
Oh no.
Luckily, he's dead, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you gather up Icepeak?
She's just everywhere, right?
Yeah, kind of. Well, where is Icepeak?
Well, she'll start to slowly slither back to the car and sort of group together as much as she can. It's probably like a very small pile of unhappy lampreys, and a torn piece of clothing in her medical kit.
And I'll kind of help, gather her up and start putting her in the trunk, yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
great. So gathering up your friend, your ally, and putting her in the car, you are able to go on your way and reconnect with the rest of your group. I'll say the rest of you probably are able to catch up to the scene of the crime at this point after it's been radioed in. So who's the first one that wants to respond to this and see the mess that is, a bloody-faced Poppy, a cop car on fire, probably just lying on its side somewhere. It looks like it's been twisted, and a massive monster that is just currently dead, rotting, half on fire. Who wants to be the first one on the scene here to respond?
I mean, Enya's probably gonna run ahead to go see if there's anyone in the car that's on fire.
Yeah, but they're all dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mikey will probably be there and see the mess and just let out a really long sigh as he starts slowly looking around, kind of taking note of everything, and just goes, it's gonna be a long day collecting evidence. As he gets his own bag out and starts getting things ready. Yeah, and he's probably got some whatever 22nd century version of a camera is to start taking pictures.
Mikey, give me a gaze roll. Passive difficulty 3.
Aw, lame.
You got fate points.
Yeah, I'll pay a fate point, and I'll use my profession as a crime scene investigator for this one.
I think you should probably go for a reroll.
Oh yeah, I was gonna, because 3 negatives on a +3, it would be easier to reroll.
What?
I swear to God, it was listening. I don't see shit.
That's amazing. So you go to find. You're scanning the crime scene. You see a red knife with a black handle sticking out of the ground. Looks like it's been twisted and damaged from the fire, but it got flung out of the car.
Yeah, I would take a couple photos of it, put the little evidence, little ticket down so that it can be used later, and then I would probably take a bag out and bag and tag it.
Okay. The thing about it is, when you go to bag and tag it, go to pick it up. Something noticed it before you did. You see what looks like a small humanoid, shadowy, leaning against a blade, like as if it were just a cool guy on a street corner. It's there, just leaning next to the blade, and it's very easy to see, even though it's black.
I guess before I grab it, seeing this little thing show up, I just kind of stare at it for a bit, and then just go, "Hi."
You notice that it takes you can see it reach behind itself and then take out what looks like a small, old style Polaroid camera and snap a picture of you.
Oh, I can do that too, bud. And I take a picture of him with my camera.
You don't get anything on film.
Yeah. Mikey would look down and just stare at the blank image and look back up and just go, "Oh, that's a neat little trick, bud. Hang on." And he, I guess, would pull out his phone and start in his notes app, start kind of quickly drawing what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. When you draw it, you notice that your drawing of it starts to move around on your screen. Like it's just the drawing of it just turns sideways as if it had 3D perspective and begins to walk away off screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I delete it? But I guess if it left, that's
Yeah, it just left.
problem solved.
The little shadowy figure that you saw near the knife is gone. But for now, you are bugged. You might as well put it somewhere on your sheet. You still get the knife, but somebody noticed you and they're now monitoring you.
Yeah, he would probably just slowly put his phone away in his back pocket and act like nothing happened.
All right, you have you have the knife on hand. Now that you see it up close, you know exactly what this is. Actually, you've seen this before. You're a forensics guy. You probably actually how big are you? How big is Mikey on war history, military history?
I don't know, because his drive is to learn everything that he can, so I feel like he would probably bounce around on subjects, just trying to learn as much as he could, and then if something else catches his attention, he just starts learning that, and he kind of he's picking it up as he goes along, and maybe there was a former case where
Okay.
something happened and he needed to learn something about it, so he dove into it there, and then that's kind of how I see him working through things, is as each case adds something new that he hasn't seen or heard or know of, that he dives into trying to learn more about it.
Right. So then you'll know probably this weapon is a decorational weapon. It's a ceremonial knife, and it is a ceremonial knife for the knife party, an extremely dangerous, we'll call them terrorist group from a prior World War, one that has been essentially snuffed out, but still has quite a reputation and is often invoked as being in the spirit of hate crimes against merfolk. People invoke the name of the knife party when they talk about cleansing Guam and the world of your kind. In other words, this guy was basically one of these cops in there was basically a Nazi.
Cool. Underwater Nazis. Great.
Yeah.
He would continue going around, just marking things, taking photos, collecting evidence of, I guess, if there's any remnants of Hanker, I guess bagging a small bit of him.
Okay.
Just wandering around the crime scene. I guess he would eventually call over to Enya and just be like, "Hey, is anybody alive around here, or is it just a mess?"
No one is, right?
Yeah, all the veteran cops died pretty much on impact. Poppy's alive. She looks guilty for some reason. I don't know. Probably.
I was gonna say, did they not take her?
Oh, did you guys take her somewhere?
I thought we did.
Oh yeah, you took her for Icecream. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somewhere Poppy feels guilty as she eats a dilly bar.
Couldn't even spring for a blizzard. Dang. Those cop pensions aren't what they used to be, guys.
John Towner, you're there, right?
Yes.
Man, this place smells delicious. The whole place, the whole construction site smells delicious.
Who cooked barbecue and didn't tell me?
I wouldn't worry about it, John. I don't think that. At least wait until after we get all this back to Icepeak. She's gonna want to look at the bodies.
Okay, but Towner, you get a compulsion. Compulsion to eat.
Okay.
You could taint the evidence and eat part of this hanker. It looks so good. It's the most. You know what happened is one of the cops in the car had like a bunch of sugar and barbecue sauce, and it fell onto a chunk of hanker during the collision. Yeah, just in his pockets.
You know, just a little pocket sauce.
Cooked to a perfect fucking glazed finish. Just lightly crisped at the edges. Saute. It looks like the most perfectly barbecued piece of seafood you've ever seen in your life, probably, and it smells amazing.
Oh man!
It also happens to be part of the brain.
But if I eat it, the eel lady will get mad, and she's scary when she's mad. I know.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it is rotating. It's like trapped on one of the wires, the cables that fell out of the car and like got snagged on like an overhead thing. So it's just currently rotating in the air, just like those ribs, buddy.
Oh my god.
The sun hits it just right as the rain begins to stop, and it's almost like God himself is just revealing this to you.
He turns away from it, angry that the gods are tempting him this way. I guess he'll resist the compulsion. That costs a fate point, right?
Mm-hmm.
He will distract himself by looking around at the scene and being like, "Man, this is going to be a lot of paperwork. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Not it.
Guess it's me.
Yeah, Mikey does like a fist pump and like while he's like in his own little corner taking pictures of stuff and like collecting stuff as he goes.
All right. Well, you guys, Icepeak, it's going to take you some time to recover from your conditions.
Yeah.
I'll say remove your butchered status and your, we'll say your 5 shift there, as well as your soul shift. You can knock those off. Blue, same. You can remove your physical stress now that the scene's over. Poppy has a new condition, severe consequence, hankering for Henker.
I love it.
She will suffer, but she'll be fine. Now that you guys have kind of like what you need for, well, sort of. I mean, this case just got a little bit more complicated. Veteran cops were involved, and it's kind of an issue. But this is also the perfect opportunity for us to finally sit down and create your chief. We haven't done that yet, and there's a new one because the old one got killed, as you may remember, by Michael. What's the idea for the chief?
So the idea I had was to kind of combine 2 police movie staples, which is that he was formerly a cop about to enter retirement. He was just 3 days away. And then the original police chief got murdered, and he was promoted because he was there the longest. He has the best track record. Everything needed to become a good police chief, and he fucking hates it because now he doesn't get to retire. And so he's the pissy police chief, but he's also the guy who should have been like 3 days away from retirement.
Okay. How old do you think he is, or how old do you think he should be? Pretty old, I guess.
Yeah, I'm an older guy. Or girl.
Oh, yeah, it's nothing. Could be a woman.
What do we feel like getting chewed out by? A grumpy old guy with like I see a mustache, or like a really strict lady?
I kind of would rather get yelled at by a guy. I don't know why.
Okay.
Should he be a native of Guam, or should he be a foreigner? Or should he be... No, he probably wouldn't be. He couldn't be a merman. Getting promoted to chief as a mer person would be very difficult.
Yeah, aren't we just like the first mer people anyway?
Yeah, well, the first
Mm.
unit. You're not the first cops, but you are the first police unit of Mermont.
Okay. Then yeah, probably human.
I want to say a native.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, native of Guam. Let's see.
Yeah, he can be like our daily in for what the royalty is doing or something.
He's a big Royals fan.
Yeah. No, it's just an idea.
No, I like it. He needs a name. Do you have one?
Do I have one? No.
Yeah. I guess time to look at my song list. Mungo Jerry.
Okay, Jerry Mungo.
Oh
In the summertime, where the people are fucking all up their cases and getting rid of evidence, they'll be bungling the cases and fucking up the process of law in the summertime.
Yeah, we messed up pretty bad here, but that's okay.
All right, so his name is Mungo, Jerry Mungo, Chief Mungo, as you call him.
Oh no. What have I done?
I was gonna say we had Officer Menudo. Now this.
Yeah. It's okay. It's like, Menudo sort of makes sense. Let me just give him a token real quick. Oh, another thing forgot about. You guys have now. You'll see that there's a case for your the one that you're currently on. It's called Hands and Feet.
That's my case.
Here we go. You guys should all be able to see him.
Mm.
There he is. Frowning at us.
Thanks, Art Breeder. That completely fabricated picture. Completely original for this game. No other human has ever existed that looks like Chief Jerry Mungo, the Chief of Police for Stella Marie. Jerry Mungo was, as mentioned, 3 days away from retirement when his good friend decided that he would just up and die, leaving the Stella Marie Police Department without any capable replacement. Jerry Mungo, as one of the people who've been with the force for well over 20 years, perfectly fits within the criteria for what they need in a police chief. He just didn't want the job and still doesn't to this day. This is a man who has been the chief of police on Guam since before the mermen were even larvae in their twisted father's eye, and now he is currently addressing a room full of Aqua squad members, looking at the report of a cop car at a construction site that was impaled and on fire, and also what appears to be a Dagonite. And he's sitting at a desk, just flipping through the pages, and every time he sees a new fact, he just kind of, his lips purse and his eyes go wide, and he just goes, okay, sure, why not? Oh, Poppy, oh, yes. And he just begins stacking the papers. Are you guys sitting or standing?
We're standing.
Take a seat!
I was gonna say I feel like Mikey found a seat. But that's just a personality thing and not.
Well, Enya suddenly did too.
He stands up and starts slamming a hand on top of the desk. What is wrong with all of you? That is my first question. It should probably be my only question. I should probably... he just casually takes out a gun. I don't know. Do something with this. What do you guys think? And he just kind of starts waving the gun around. You think I should? Huh? Any of you? He just kind of points the gun at you, Towner. You? What should I do with this gun?
Yeah,
Do it? He slowly starts putting the gun to his own head.
You see,
Oh, no,
Towner
no, nothing.
means taking it to a gun range.
No, I mean shoot me. Do it.
Oh, he puts the gun at you, Towner. Okay.
No, you see, he means a shark target. Like him. but a target at the training range.
Downer, the only reason I'm not shooting you is because I might lose my dental benefits if I don't know that I would, but I'm not going to take the risk. He puts the gun away. I need teeth. They're good. Teeth.
Counter nods. Yeah, you do need teeth. Teeth are important.
He sits down again, starting to calm down. Just teeth are very important. What you all saw just now of me pulling a gun out and pointing it around wildly, that was he starts shuffling the papers. Trust building exercise. You all passed.
Ah, I love those.
I am looking at the report here, the evidence so far gathered. Let's see, we have, okay, 3 dead cops. Well, 4 technically, because one of them was Dagonite. Is that right? He looks up at you, Blue. It was a Dagonite?
Yes, sir.
So we had a Dagonite who had infiltrated the police department amongst our most veteran officers. By the way, I just went to the quinceañera of one of these guys, his daughter. He just starts shuffling the papers again. Well, it's a good thing that I gave her, enough money to put into her college fund, or some of it, so she won't have to. Maybe she'll be able to study good reasons why her father is dead now. I don't know if they offer a doctorate in that, a degree or something, But maybe there's a degree in self, psychology, so that she can get over the trauma that her apparently that her father was involved in a what was this restaurant exactly? He starts flipping through the pages. It was Icepeak as a lamprey. Do you want to fill him in?
Oh, what do you even call this?
Boardwalk?
Merman Chop Shop? That's what she says.
Icepeak, roll gaze. You take 6 soul damage as the eyes of Jerry Mungo just pierce right through you with much anger.
The single lamprey just kind of like is defeated. I don't even have 6 soul damage. What am I supposed to?
It's fine. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Don't worry about it. It's mostly for a giggle. He stares at you with a withering, burning stare. A chop shop for a merman chop shop. So these cops were involved in the illegal recycling of mermen. He just starts flipping through the pages again. And then I see here a report that says that there was a knife party souvenir present at the scene. He looks over at you, Mikey.
Yeah, it's currently bagged in evidence with the rest of everything we could salvage, Chief.
Great. So let me just get this straight. He leans back in his chair and just folds one leg over the other and just kind of he just leans back and just takes his glasses off and kind of just starts taking a more casual kind of posture. So what happened was there was a prostitute, a lady of the night, who went missing in the trenches. You guys thought it might have been a samurai. You found out that her liver was missing. So Icepeak was involved in a sting operation that led me to find out that within the police department, currently there was, if I may, a Nazi, several people that like to engage in what some would call cannibalism, but I'm not so sure, quite frankly, and a Dagonite. So Nazi, Dagonite, we'll just say cannibals, because I'm feeling very sociable right now, and I think of you all as people, So Daganites, cannibals, and Nazis, all coming from one case involving a missing hooker who got chopped to pieces by some kind of psycho samurai.
That
Yeah.
sounds correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about right.
Okay. He just takes out a he reaches down below the desk and pulls up what looks like a pint of whiskey and just puts it on the table and just starts unscrewing the cap while staring at you all. So, this is a very tricky situation, and I know that you are all very, very hungry to get at it. He just takes a small sip from the whiskey. But as your chief, I must advise you that pursuing this matter right at this very moment, with things being so raw, with the veteran police officers who were involved, which, by the way, I'm not sure if any of you knew this, but one of them was my half-brother. Forgot to say that up top. Well, anyway, so they're all dead. And not only that, but they were involved with Nazis and probably some kind of illegal organ trading. And I'm probably going to get looked at again. But you guys are doing great, it looks like. Except for you, Icepeak. Have you lost a little too much weight? And he just kind of takes another drink from the bottle.
Yes, let's just say that he was hungry too. Oh no!
He just locks eye contact with you as he starts to drain the entire pint.
Oh my god.
He's just staring down this lamprey.
He puts down the bottle. Oh, that's fine. Enya, any news on? Did you try to negotiate the situation at all, or is there anything that maybe Atlantis would like to? What would an Atlantean do in a situation where a whole unit of people just killed and made a big quagmire and made a mess? Just threw a grenade in the middle of the thing and just blew everything up. Sending meat chunks flying everywhere, and everyone's running around screaming, where's my father? Where's my arm? You know, what would an Atlantean do? He just starts rubbing his face kind of furiously, clearly agitated. Well, what would an Atlantean do in a situation like this, I wonder?
Proper funeral rites. And, well, assessing the situation, Chief. Like anyone with their head screwed on right would do.
Okay. Proper funeral rites it is. I'll be sure to let everyone know that the men we're burying were traitors and definitely the only ones in the department. They definitely don't have friends or anything that I'm going to have to snuff out. And they definitely won't just go hiding now that their friends are dead and they've been revealed.
Well, we do have freedom of the press back there. We could, let that information out so everyone knows and is aware.
Oh, freedom of the press. Wow, look at you. I can't believe it. We haven't invented that here in Guam, I'm afraid. We're just savage cavemen, roaming around, climbing up trees, knocking down coconuts, and then using those to smash each other in the head, for the limited resources that we have.
Well, actually, I've seen, contrary to that, Chief, it's very civilized here in Guam.
I'm being sarcastic! God damn it, Enya! Yeah! He just starts screaming and he just throws the bottle against the wall.
She just salutes suddenly.
You see, he points at the bottle on the wall. That is another exercise. That one is about the dangers of littering. If that glass somebody were to step on it with their bare feet, they would be in trouble. So it's important. He just slowly reaches under the table and takes out a small brush with a small pan, and then calmly walks over and starts sweeping it up. It is important to clean up if you make a mess. In the case somebody they're trying out new shoes that they got for their uniform. And then they're walking through in their thin socks, and they step on the glass and go, ooch, owie, ooh, ooh, ooh. He just cleans up the glass. There we go. Never happened.
She gives him a thumbs up. Lesson well learned, Chief.
He just disposes of the glass very calmly and then sits back down. I'm going to give you all an option right now, and I'm going to tell you which one of them is going to make me upset. The one that's going to make me upset is that you continue to pursue this case at this point in time and probably make more of a mess out of something that is already a mess. Or you pursue some kind of alternative solution to your missing prostitute that doesn't involve the very deep corruption that may or may not be nestled within the heart of the Stella Marie Police Department. Which would you prefer? The one that makes me upset? Or the one that maybe solves your case and you can all go on to, I don't know, what do you like to do in your spare time, Towner?
Watch TV, lift, normal guy stuff.
Sure, watch TV, lift. Be a normal guy. He just stares at Towner when he says normal guy.
Yep, that's me, normal guy.
Normal guy. Very, very normal. The chief is giving you the options, though. If you continue to pursue the case in the involvement of the police department and everything that's happened, this will turn from a major case into a monumental case, meaning it will become your arc. But if you choose instead to just work the angle with the dead hooker, it'll stay major and you can probably solve it this session or the next one. That is up to you.
Oh shit.
Do we want to ferret out corruption?
But what he's saying is also true about the corruption. There's maybe something that would be easier or just less dangerous to do after you build up support or otherwise change. Do things addressing, we'll have to build it later, factional strength and what that means for the city. So going after the cops now could hurt the police department's factional strength. It may make you stronger in the long run if you ferret out the corruption right now, but it may also be very difficult for you to deal with,
Okay.
many different things happening in Stella Marie.
Enya's gonna hold out her 2 fingers. The second one?
So you want to do the one that makes my life easier then?
Yeah, of course, Chief.
Good. As for the matter of these, we don't know that they were Knife Party. Knife Party doesn't even exist, by the way, so if I hear any of you talking about Knife Party outside of this room, I can't, knowing that you are, merfolk, I can't kick your ass. Like, I think it's physically impossible for me to kick any of your asses. But I can find a chair or fire extinguisher and have a go at it. I mean, I can really make an attempt. Really try very hard. There's one thing that my dad always liked about me. People would say, Jerry, you can't do that. You're too small to play football. Something like that, And I said, no, come on, Papa, I could. And then I would tackle the biggest kid on the field. Now, I would also probably get, my ass kicked, but I would throw my body at him, and I would throw my body at any of you. Just really try to take you down. Don't even need a knife or a gun. Just anything I can find on hand.
Take us down for a hug, right, Chief?
And you get out of.
I was gonna say, yeah, Mikey's kind of
leave.
shaking his head. He's shaking his head a little at Enya. Just
And you leave right now. Go. He points to the door. Get out. Go.
She'll
Get out.
salute and go. Take her leave.
Go give Westwood a hug. He'd love it. He really would. He's a very warm, nice guy. Okay. That Disneyland tourist, she still has the right idea. Pursue the angle with the prostitute. Don't worry about this stuff, and don't talk too much about it outside of this office. If you could, it's a very sensitive matter. A lot of those guys are very well liked. They're already going to catch some heat around here. I'm a big advocate of you guys, by the way. The Aqua people, just like practically my idea. I am like your father that doesn't like you. I want that to change. I want that situation to change. I want you to have the life that I never had. For example, being able to retire would be very nice, but I can't. So, in the meantime, I think Clint is having a thing on the weekend. By the way, the cheese tasting, which is very good. And he just kind of gets up and gathers his papers. And I don't know anymore, I'm just thinking of just getting him. He just starts walking out of the room, mumbling to himself. Just thinking of getting a coffee or something.
Bye, Dad.
Goodbye. That's what he shouts back.
I think that went better than expected. I mean, he didn't hit any of us with the bottle.
So you guys, as you were kind of making your way back to your little office, your workspace, your conference room, you'll notice that you are getting some pretty dirty looks from other officers in the precinct right now. They all know kind of what happened. A lot of them were really, they knew who those guys were. They looked up to them. Some of them were good friends. Some of them owed money. Some of them were, been on the force for about as long as those guys. They're giving you some dirty, dirty looks. Generally, how do each of you respond to kind of the increased scrutiny that you're receiving? Starting with, I guess, John, how do you react to kind of the mean looks? You probably don't give a shit, I'm sure, right? Or maybe you're very sensitive. I don't know.
He'll probably yell at anyone that seems confrontational, but otherwise, no, he doesn't give a shit.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, they're mad, but they're not that mad. They're not mad enough to try to start a fight with a shark. That's a bad idea. Enya, how do you kind of like deal with the stress?
She'll go up to the person and say something along the lines of, they seem like they could use some cheering up, and hey, why don't you give the bus stop boxing club a shot? They got some really good yoga classes in the morning. That'll really help with your energy levels, Get that all straightened out.
Sure. The guy stops and says, yeah, sure. Hey, you think I could stop by and talk to you about it later, before we leave? You have a locker here, right? At the precinct?
Yeah, it's the one with the hearts right around the number.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll talk. I'll leave a note there or something. I don't know. All right. He just kind of smiles and gives you a pat on the shoulder.
She gives a thumbs up.
Okay. Mikey, how do you respond to the increased criticism?
Yeah, Mikey doesn't have good posture. So like he already kind of like leans forward when he walks, and like his shoulders are kind of in. So this is kind of exaggerated, feeling like all the gaze of everyone around him and knowing that they're all looking at him as well. Being like an eye Dagonite. So yeah, he's probably very awkward looking, but he's got like a big smile on his face trying to play it off. Like he's just kind of turning his head because you can't really see his eyes through his like hair and the hat and everything. But he's just trying to look at everybody and just seem like he's not, like he doesn't know that everybody is looking at him and shitting on him mentally.
As you're kind of like, I guess, making your way through the office, that computer that I think it was Claudia was working on that got bumped into, you kind of bump into somebody that is working on it, just kind of by accident. It's not a big deal. It's just a guy with looks like a clearly fake mustache and a sort of blue-green jumpsuit. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, watch out, buddy. Just trying to do some work here on this. He taps the computer with a screwdriver. This here machine. You all right?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. That's odd. Yeah, we're good. You know, just working, boss stuff.
He points the screwdriver at you. Oh, you're one of those Aqua guys, right?
Yeah, and he kind of like casually like points to, I guess, like if they have a logo that's separate from the police logo on his uniform.
The technician kind of nods his head. Ah, super cool. Yeah, I'm a friend of Clint's. He just asked me if I could come in and do a little tech support for you guys. Said you really need it. So, um, really, well, it's cool. It's cool to actually meet one of you. First of all, um, love Guam. Second of all, it's like always good to like get out of the house and like do stuff. It keeps you. He just stops kind of sane, I guess. Yeah, that's it's sanity. Starts like rubbing at his fake mustache, nearly knocking it off.
Oh yeah, I'm everybody just calls me Mikey, by the way. You are? And he like holds his hand out.
You can call me. He just stares. What's a good fake name?
I mean, wouldn't that be something you should already have if you're gonna be sneaking into police office?
Come on, man! Don't put me on the spot like this.
I mean, you can give me your real name.
Nah, yeah, nice try. He just starts laughing.
Yeah, Mikey gives a little bit of a laugh too because he's not sure what to do.
Look, you can just call me. What your name's Mikey?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Mikey.
Oh wow, it's a small world.
Yeah, that's actually my last name, Mikey Small World.
That's
Pretty good. Pretty good
no,
fake name.
I mean, I know that that's not true. You're in a police, like, this is a police station, like this is the precinct. You like you have to be a little bit like quicker on the draw. Like you straight up, you told me your name. You're using a fake name. Like this, what are you doing? What are you actually doing here?
He casually, as he's talking, takes your phone out and begins flipping through it. I mean, I don't know.
Can I grab it back?
Yeah, he just kind of turns when you try. What? Hold on a sec. I gotta fix this for you.
No, I need that. That's mine.
Yep,
I also
know.
gotta use it for work sometimes.
I know. Hold on.
And he's trying to grab around him, and every now and then you'll see his arm is a little bit too long comparatively, like he's trying to reach around, or like his neck will kind of pull too far.
Yeah, the person that you're dealing with, it's the damnedest thing. You've never seen a person do this. He is just instinctively moving away from you at every possible angle. If this was like gun kata, it's like he's anti you grabbing the thing kata. Like every time you try, he even like bends over backwards. He like will turn sideways entirely. It's amazing. You've never met a person quite so slippery that wasn't a merman. But you can sort of tell that he's not. He's just avoiding single grab attempt.
Yeah, Mikey is gonna keep trying, and it's just like, look, I'm gonna call Clint. Just give it back.
He throws the phone back to you, just tosses it very, very lightly though, in a way you can catch.
Oh yeah, he catches it.
And between his fingers, he's holding the small black figure.
Well, okay, I need that for evidence.
What are you gonna do? Like put this in a jar or something, man? Come on.
I mean, would it fit in a jar?
No, man. What do you mean?
I mean, like, would it stay in the jar if I put it in there? It's evidence. It was at the crime scene.
It's not gonna stay in the jar, man. This is a stand.
Oh, Okay. Do you know whose it is?
No, he kind of looks at it. Could probably figure it out, but I don't know. It's not really my thing, figuring it out. I could give this back to you, but it'll probably try to get into your phone again or something. So you can't put it in a jar. He shakes it a little. It's like some kind of electrical impulse or something like that.
Oh, wait. I think I know what'll work. Can you give me a second? Just hold it. Don't let it get away.
He holds it.
Mikey's gonna make a break for the break room, or I guess for their office, like their little meeting space, since it has a bunch of our crap in it. He's gonna steal a microwave.
Okay. We'll wait for the microwave.
Yeah. I come back with the microwave and pop it open and just go, throw them in here.
Really, dude?
No, you see, a microwave, the way it works is the way you don't die of the radiation as it's cooking the food inside is that it has a built-in Faraday cage. It keeps all the energy in. If it's energy, it'll stay in.
Okay. He just casually throws it in.
As soon as it like hits the microwave, he closes it.
Hey, that's pretty good thinking, man.
Thanks. I like learning. Thanks for stealing the thing out of my phone.
What?
It got itself into my phone after I tried to draw it because it wouldn't take a photo of it because it was standing next to the. This is an ongoing case. I can't talk to you. You're not a cop.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a cop. He just kind of starts laughing and takes a bag of chips out from behind his back and just pops it open.
Can
Come on, man.
Now that I have my phone back, can I try and take a photo of him?
Yeah, you can
even
try.
on the sly.
When you try to take a picture of him, you get what looks like a small noodly robot that's like photobombing you. It's the only way to describe it.
He doesn't. He tries his he doesn't really react to that because he doesn't want to give away that he's trying to photograph this guy to show off later that there's a weird man in the precinct that shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, when you look back up to see him, he simply isn't there.
That twice now, and you actually can see like his eye stalks like peeking out through his hair now, and like they're kind of scanning around, like looking, because that's twice that's happened, and that doesn't happen a lot, and that's twice in like 24 hours.
That's true.
But he'll carry the microwave back to their little section.
Okay. Well, once you get the microwave back, anybody who looks into it will see that there's it looks like a silhouette that's trying to run around back and forth, throwing itself against the glass, trying to get out. It can't.
Yeah, anybody who's like who pays too much attention to it, Mikey will just kind of like smile and like kind of laugh and just go, "Yeah, I caught the thing trying to eat my lunch, so I'm gonna go let it out sooner or later. I think it just needs to learn a lesson."
So these are the facts of your case. You have the feet, the hands. Samurai might have done it. Phone call from under the boardwalk. Body parts. You have one suspect. You also have possible police corruption, but pursuing that could be dangerous. It may be possible to close this case without getting any further in the weeds. So from this point, you can choose to either re-question any of the witnesses, bring in anyone that you want to talk to, or just tell Harlan what you think the facts of the case are, and he'll take care of the rest. How do you guys feel about it as a unit of cops?
I feel like Hanker didn't really lend much more to pointing at the samurai guy.
Yeah, not really.
We weren't really able to search that.
That's true.
Were we able to catch the chef? Did we ever catch the chef?
those guys are probably complete. Like that place is scrubbed. That chef
Mhm.
isn't even there anymore, and it was like just registered under a fake name, probably shell corporation type like real estate. So finding out who actually owned the property would be very difficult. Possible, but very difficult.
Do I know the chef's face? I saw him.
Sure, you know what he looks like.
Okay.
Time to put out an APB.
He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, I want to find this guy. He's like the only living person that could tell us if he bought a liver or not, which is the prostitute case, which I am allowed to look into.
Okay, go ahead and give me a. Let me look at your sheet. Give me a brain trust roll with a 4. 2. You will get probably some information back from various contacts that you have, releasing visual information about this guy. Not a complete idea of who he is or even a name, but it's someone that has been seen in, or it depends actually. There's a lot of cranks that may give bad information. So this is someone that may have been in and out of the cultural district, which is a place you frequent. You didn't recognize him though.
Oh yeah. So he's somewhere in like the like museum area,
There's restaurants
area.
around there.
Yeah. I guess we can search around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it solo, or do you want to bring someone with you, or how do you want
I'm
to do
like
it?
3 lampreys right now. Should probably recover.